It's time for Inside the Gamecocks, the show with Phil Mullinax and J.C. Sherbert.
So, how many of you would say you speak English fairly well, but with some difficulty?
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
You play to win the game.
Now, let's take it away, J.C. and Phil.
Sherbert, Phil Mullinax here with you. It's Monday. How's everybody doing?
Oh, Monday morning.
Feels like
Good house full of people at my house.
Uh-oh.
Hoping everything stays a little quiet here.
So everybody's out of school there. Now.
Oh yeah. We're all here at home.
The boys don't get off until Wednesday. Nat's off today. She's in a place called Menards, which is a lot like Home Depot. She's tiling the downstairs bathroom. So pretty impressed by her job that she's been doing down there on the bathroom, because there was a hole in the wall and we were worried the bathroom was going to fall into the basement. So she retiled it and all that good stuff. So lots of home improvement and shopping and things like that going on. I'm up to my eyeballs in Carolina Rise stuff. Didn't expect it to blow up like this. I'm trying to get mail out to everybody. Thanks to all that have joined. Please continue to spread the word. If we keep this momentum up, you probably won't be hearing about Carolina having NIL problems for the foreseeable future. But we still have a long way to go on that one. Big recruiting weekend this weekend, Phil. Really good job. The staff does a great job with official visits, visits from other people and all that good stuff. I mean, unofficial visits, really good commitments, and I think more on the way here shortly. Just kind of looking over it, the Gamecocks have a huge need at tight end, obviously, and they're slowly but surely filling those voids. You got the two, Cam Sandlin and Connor Cox, coming in from the high school level. Reed Mikasa is on flip watch from Miami. He's out of Texas. And the Gamecocks got Nick Elksness. I think that's how you say it. Elksness.
Out of Florida, right?
Yeah. University of Florida transfer, 6'6", 243. Originally from Pennsylvania. Originally from Jacksonville. Was committed to Penn State. Did flip to Florida. Didn't get a whole lot of touches there, catches, playing time, what have you. So he comes in. I think he can add some depth. Another Jacksonville area tight end in the spirit of Hayden Hurst, and also Connor Cox, who's coming in this class. He's from Jacksonville as well. Nick Gargiulo. How did I put that extra syllable in there, Phil? Transfer from Yale. Now this cat's pretty interesting. All Ivy League at Yale, and at Yale, the Ivy League go for can't, there's no super seniors in the Ivy League or graduate transfers or anything like that. So a lot of these Ivy League guys that are pretty good, that aren't quite ready maybe to take the shot at the NFL, or they feel like they need to play at a bigger place, they'll go ahead and transfer on up and then take their shot at the NFL later. And that's what he's doing. Of course, Dante Reno, the 2024 quarterback commit for the Gamecocks. His father's the head coach at Yale. 6'5", 295, all conference. You look at his picture, Phil, he looks like an extra guy. He's got that Matt or like Matt Dillon from There's Something About Mary. He's got that look, that mustache look. I mean, it's pretty funny. But the Gamecocks targeted a graduate transfer center because Eric Douglas is gone. Obviously, you need a player that can help with the calls and checks and stuff on the line of scrimmage. That's intelligent, I guess, or at least football intelligent. Eric Douglas was that guy for the Gamecocks for a while and still is for one more game. But this is kind of a ready-made guy because they haven't, guys like Trey Jones can play center. Hank Manos is gone. They're probably going to train one of the younger guys to play it eventually, or they already are doing it. But how next year sets up, and like I've said a couple of times, there's no tomorrow in college football. So if you can upgrade at the center position, even if it's for 1 or 2 years, you're in good shape. And the third commitment from the transfer portal is Mario Anderson from Newberry. Kid played at Stratford High School. Kind of a long and winding road to get to Newberry, but he was a Heisman. The Harlan Hill Trophy in D2 is the Heisman. So he was a finalist for Harlan Hill, averaged 7 yards a carry at Newberry. I can tell you that there's always going to be somewhat of an adjustment, and whether you make that adjustment quickly or not, when you're coming from D2 to the SEC or any kind of jump up, that kind of just depends on you. And then that determines if you'll play or not. I think talent-wise, from what the feedback I've gotten from the coaching staff, they think this kid's great. I mean, I think this kid can come in and play a lot, but
he's explosive, man. It's fun to watch. Yeah, I'm excited about Mario.
Yeah, and another state of South Carolina kid that kind of got overlooked or for one reason or the other, and he would have probably been, Phil, had it not been for some things that happened his senior year, grades and stuff like that. He'd have probably been at a place like Coastal or East Carolina, Charlotte, FBS level, maybe group of 5. Maybe he'd have snuck in at like NC State or somewhere too, because he was really good coming out of school. He just grades or whatever kind of sidetracked that a bit. So here we go, award-winning Nana Sports chat box. It's always open.
That's right. We're always open.
Well, yeah, open a little early. I get in here and I'm like 15 different chats. Brian says, "Morning, fellas. Watch some tape on Mario Anderson. He looks pretty darn good. What are your thoughts on that get?" Well, we just gave it, but that's I think it's promising. How about that? That's a good word for Mario. It's promising. And Brian says, "Once again, thanks so much for the package. That sweet heat sauce was dang good." It was the Billy G sweet heat sauce, unbelievable.
Billy G.
I sent some sweet heat sauce to our mutual friend Skipper Phil. The other day. He likes to cook and stuff. So I was like, "Hey, here's some sweet heat sauce." And I gave him a Carolina Rise magnet to put on his car for his trip down to Jacksonville. And, he doesn't even know what that is. He's just like, "All right, man, whatever." But, Sean says, "What are Dowell Loggins' offensive concepts? 5 formations, keep the best players on the field, or 20 different concepts and use different players?" The former.
Yeah, I would say the former there. At least that's what he intimated in the press conference.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the way to go. And look, it may be 5 formations in a drive. I mean, they may have more than that. You'll have substitution packages, but I think that the idea in college football these days is to keep your best players on the field. When you have versatile players, great, because you can run all kinds of different personnel groupings and run it fast. And the last, it was kind of funny because the last 2 games, Phil, I felt like there was a lot of like nuance and stuff, with the formations and stuff like that. But the plays were actually the same. And they worked. So I think in the bowl game, they need to stick with that. Then as Dowell Loggins takes over the full reign of the offense, then, keep it going. Sean says, "What's the update on Landon Sampson?" Hadn't heard anything about him. His dad was, talking up the Gamecocks on Twitter the other day. I said, but you never know. We're living in a world where Gene Bell was selling T-shirts and they got in the portal.
Right.
See you guys in Jacksonville. Maybe. Well, no, not really. Carolina Titans says Tyshawn Russell looks like the real deal. Yeah, I think so. He's a late riser, plays at a great high school program, Bishop McDevitt. LaShawn McCoy played there, by the way, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he did. LaShawn McCoy played there. Tyshawn Russell, 4 touchdowns in the state championship game. Kind of got a nice strider. Nobody catches him when he breaks away. I don't know the athletic level that they're playing against. I think they beat everybody up they play. But, a guy like that, you need receivers. You take a flyer on him, see if he works out. So I think that's a deal there. KFC in Africa says, "We haven't had any luck with people from Pennsylvania or Delaware." Well, I mean, I don't know. Marshawn helped you win games this year. I mean, he's from Delaware.
Right. Yeah, we had some success, but then he left. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that PA, I guess you go back to Brennan Nosovich and guys like that. And you still have Keenan Nelson Jr. He's from Philly. He's there. It's not and Braden Davis is still there too at quarterback. So we'll see what happens. Debo Williams is from Delaware and was the second team linebacker. I think I think with Debo, he's got some things to improve on to be a star. Some things as a reserve on special teams, and I think he's done a really good job too. So I don't know that I would say that, like, make a blanket statement. I do know there have been from the Northeast some busts going back to the Spurrier era. So I'll give you that. Lance Player from Johnsonville, South Carolina. What up, killers? What a weekend. Hoping for more fireworks soon. And we got Super Mario. Yes. M8 Air 4327. Happy signing week. VJ says, who are the top remaining 23 targets still on the board? Lenore Sellers would be one. Nick Harbor, Cameron Robinson, who may end up at Florida State, the linebacker out of Virginia. Edwin Joseph is still kind of in the periphery, the South Florida kid. I'm not sure. Elijah Davis is still out there. I feel good about where the Gamecocks stand with him at this point. So does Hale. That's and Elijah's a really good defensive lineman. I mean, he can step in and help right away if he gets in and works and all that. So that's the deal there. And I think that there's going to be more welcome homes and things like that, and players coming to light here in the coming days. Trust me. And Lenore Sellers, by the way, 11:30 Eastern time on Wednesday, so we'll be on the air when he commits. Phil.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, Lenore Sellers.
Reaction.
Hurt me, Lance said. Hurt me. Carolina Titan, did Travis Williams get the DC position at Arkansas? Yes. And Addison Williams, former Gamecock defensive back, is now the DC at Central Florida. So Addison Williams and Chris Hampton are Power 5. Well, UCF will be Power 5 in the next couple of years, but FBS level defensive coordinators. How about that? Former Gamecocks out there doing stuff and coaching. That's good because Carolina really does not have a whole lot of alums or didn't have a whole lot of alums in coaching prior to like the end of Holt's first Spurrier era. And now a lot of the guys go into coaching. And a lot of them are Travian Robertson. We've talked about him here, but it's not just him. It's Hampton. It's Addison Williams. Cedric Williams is an offensive line coach. I think it's North Carolina Central. And they had a big win against Deion's team. Deion's team can't win that bowl game, by the way. I guess he's gone to Colorado anyway. So a lot of Gamecocks are out there in coaching, and that's always a good thing for your program. It's always a good thing for your program to have South Carolina people out there. Rick said, Jags celebrating a victory Monday. Now, this is funny. So the fiance and I are like, we turned the Bears game off. Is that what happened? Or they switched to this game. And so she goes and turns the TV off, and I see like the throw from Dak Prescott, and I see somebody's about to pick it, and the TV just goes dark. And I'm like, what? So I missed the play. I was like, that felt like a pick six to end the game, and then it was. So that was a heck of a win. Xavier says, what's up from a snowy Twisp, guys? Where it's a balmy 3 degrees. Pretty good recruiting this past weekend. Yeah, it's about 8 here. I'm like, So
yeah, we're still in the 40s.
Yeah.
But it's going to get real cold. We get down to the teens this week. That's we don't want any of that.
Goodness. Clint says, any idea when the other 23 welcome homes could be announced at any time? I don't know.
How many are left? Just one or two, JC?
Huh?
How many 23 welcome homes are left? Is it just
two,
one?
Maybe
one.
2
23s. I thought it was 1 and 2 24s. I don't know. Well, we got 7 welcome homes on the weekend, and we know what, 3 names?
4. Russell and the 3 portal guys.
Russell. Okay, 4. Yeah.
So there's 3 left. I meant to kind of like sketch all that out before I got on the air today, but I didn't. Clint says, hole in the wall, huh? It's in a place in France where the naked ladies dance. He said, sorry, couldn't resist a dumb joke. Lance is like, I'm a Bush Lades kind of guy, but these Dowell Loggins extra stouts go down smooth. Yeah. It's the official beer of Inside the Gamecocks, the show. By the way, I got T-shirts ordered for me and Phil with the gopher on it. It's going to be awesome. Krager says, love you, Eric Douglas, but we need an upgrade. Yeah, Eric had probably his best year this year, almost quietly. But, he's limited a little bit, and I think this kid from Yale, I don't know. I'm not going to call that he's an upgrade right now because he's going from the Ivy League to the SEC. But, dude, these Italian guys from up there that way, these tough guys, I don't bet against them. I don't bet.
Yeah, he looks the part. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. He's scary. I mean, it's like, I'm like, wow, that guy is in college. I mean, he looks like a grown man. And he's 295 pounds of like hard freaking. Yeah. Clint says, JC, will Anderson enroll in December and go through spring practice? Marquis, I believe so. I think that's the plan. Desmond Umeazulu is in for spring, and Pup Howard also. Pup Howard's already started. So,
I mean, yeah, I'm surprised he's not taking classes right now.
Yeah, he's loving it. What the heck is going on down there in Gainesville, Saunders says. Oh, with the loss? You go all the way across the country to Las Vegas. Didn't Anthony Richardson opt out of the bowl?
I mean, yeah, you're playing with next year's crew, right?
Yeah, and
without
Oregon
the recruits.
and Oregon State has a bunch of guys that are not star recruits. They find guys and they develop them. And the guy that's the coach there, Jonathan Smith, he's from the Chris Peterson coaching tree. The guy that was in Washington and Boise State, really good coach. He played quarterback for the Beavers when they went 11-1 under Dennis Erickson and beat Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl. So they're going to look at a game against Florida on their side of the country as a big opportunity. And Florida's like, man, we just don't want to be here, And so that's why the Beavers rolled the Gators in Vegas. I mean, and the fact that they didn't have – I mean, I think you can see, what that situation is, when they don't have a quarterback. So that's the deal there. Joey G says, any news on the tight end from Arkansas? That's Trey Knox.
Knox, yeah.
Things are still looking good. John says, morning crew, heck of a weekend. JC, what do you think of our new starting center? Love him. Clint says, we need Cameron Robinson. He says, Friday, isn't it, JC? Are we talking about Sellers? I thought it was Wednesday. Maybe
Sellers is the 23rd. Yeah, so Friday. Mm-hmm.
It is Friday. Okay, I'm sorry. My bad. My fault on that. Tyshawn Russell reminds me of Jalen Hyatt, but 2 inches taller. Not sure that he has the 4.2 40, but you're not going to catch him. So, Justin says, I just heard we were getting the starter tight end from Arkansas. Yeah, it's Trey Knox. He looks pretty good. I think he's an all SEC type level guy. And I'm not being a homer because I said that before Carolina played Arkansas about 6 times that week. Watch out for Trey Knox. Watch out for Trey Knox. Right. And Trey didn't really hurt him in the game like some other guys did, but he certainly is an elite player. So Dean says 2 2024 and 1 2023 left unannounced. All right, so I know all of those guys. Clint says I meant Mario Anderson. Yeah, I think he's mid-year as a transfer, so he'll be in there. Quantrell says with the new transfer portal moment, I almost won't take anything good or bad away from bowl games. Yeah, and the NCAA, I guess Cole Kublik reported on Twitter, I guess this is true. I haven't seen anything except Cole's tweet that they're suspending the redshirt rules this year. So, in other words, if a player's played in 4 games and he's out of games to play to preserve his redshirt, they're going to let you play in the bowl. So that's good. I'll also say this. Anthony Rose, academic redshirt, came in from Miami Central. Everybody was high on him. Anthony's eligible to play in the bowl because it's this academic redshirt goes by semester. Semester's over. His grades are fine. So he'll be able to play in the bowl. And nice. I got some tremendous feedback on him from contact over the weekend. Said that kid's probably going to be the starting corner, one of the starting corners next year. So you kind of replace talent with talent. Clint says, JC, how do we stand with Reed McKeska? I think Carolina's put him on flip watch, man. He's not he's not the 2023 welcome home. Because now that I've got the numbers in front of me, I know who they are. Can't tell you, but I know who they are. So he's not the welcome home, but that's the deal. Marcus said, what about the 4-star tight end that committed to Arkansas, the one out of high school, Shamar or something? Yeah, I think it's Easter? 50. Yeah, Shamar Easter. I think it's from feedback at Carolina was it's 50-50. So, we'll see. We'll see sort of what happens with that. He's an Arkansas kid, so he's from that state. So you have to get him to come halfway across the country, and that's not always easy. Brian
Is that
says,
the one that the message board poster from Arkansas was wanting to sue Dowell Loggins over?
Oh my God!
Did you see that?
Yes, I saw it on Message Board Geniuses. They wanted to take a lawsuit out, and it got kind of uncomfortable because they're like talking about recruits as if they were like commodities and stuff.
Right?
I'm
Yeah,
like
they were.
Don't go down that road, dude. You know, you probably didn't mean anything terrible by it, but come on, man, you can't. You gotta come on, man. Come on, man. So there we go. Okay. And Quantrell, one more question. He says, how does Nico, the Tennessee freshman quarterback, already enrolled? Same way that Pup Howard is. Now Nico can't play in the game, but you know, they're rocking and rolling with that. Caden says, is Wendell Gregory and Mazio Bennett the 2024 welcome homes? I will say nay to that. So we'll get it going. Arkansas board blocked me. I was liking every post about Loggins in South Carolina, and they didn't take too kindly to Big Cock Loggins. Will, is that your new handle on 24/7? That's awesome.
Big Cock Loggins.
RB said, I mean, Florida played a quarterback getting his first career start. What did you expect to happen? Exactly what happened. Maybe not that bad. Maybe not that bad because, you know, Florida's got other really good players. But
yeah, because they didn't do any defense either out there in Vegas.
Yeah. I know. I mean, but RB, I also want to credit Oregon State. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, well, I mean, they're not. I assure you, in Corvallis, they're not throwing that game back. They needed it. They want it. All right, so we're going to take a break here. We'll be back. Don't forget Keith Allsup, top of the hour, for his Monday review right here inside the Gamecocks. The show rolls on after this.
Golfers and wannabe golfers, former Gamecock golfer Meredith Taylor is now a full-time golf instructor in the Midlands of South Carolina. In-person golf lessons are held at the Country Club of Lexington. Half-hour, on course 9 or 18 holes. And if you're outside of South Carolina, Meredith conducts virtual lessons. Just send in your golf swing for analysis. Gift cards are available for in-person 1-hour lessons. Connect on Twitter @Mayor Taylor and find her online at McKellarEnterprises.org. Her email is on the website. Schedule your next lesson today with Meredith Taylor, former Gamecock golfer.
Gamecock Nation, do you need a place to stay for the big game? Many hotel booking engines keep all the commissions, but at Fan Plans, you support inside the Gamecocks, still earn your hotel loyalty points, and you receive an email with direct confirmation from the hotel. Whether you are visiting Columbia to cheer on Carolina or hitting the road to follow the team, get in the stands with Fan Plans.
This is Coach O. Now back to the show. Go Tigers in the soul.
Welcome back to Inside the Gamecocks, the show, everybody. The show is sponsored by Express Sunrooms in Columbia. Give John Barber a call at 803-446-4662 to schedule a no-risk, no-cost consultation about an outdoor retreat for your home. And don't forget, if you mention that you heard it on the show, you get $500 off of your next project. And the first hour of the show is brought to you by Cindy Searfoss and the Coldwell Banker Kane Realty team here in the Upstate. Give Cindy a call, 864-414-5271 for your Upstate residential real estate needs.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Nana's Porch chat box, the award-winning Nana's Porch. By the way, Chris stepped into the chat box earlier and said, "What's up, clowns?" and then left.
Just dropping by. Just remind us of who we really are.
Clint said somebody mentioned Kelvin Hunter as a possibility for one of the 24s. That actually makes a lot of sense. Not Kelvin Hunter. Chris is in enemy territory. College Station, Texas. We're visiting family. Wearing my Block C attire. Wow.
Nice.
Unreal. Way to go, Chris.
By the way, Chris, they can't hate you too bad. They lost to almost everybody.
They did, except LSU.
That's right.
They're like, all right, well, this is the last game. Heck, let's go play today. We'll go play some ball today. Meredith is in the house in the chat box. She gives everybody I guess that's the Spurs up. Spurs up. Meredith McKellar Taylor, McKellar Enterprises. I think you've got a little bit more time to sign up for January, I think, and then there's some gift cards too.
Yeah, still got gift cards and a few spots open for, I think, in person.
Yeah,
lessons.
So that's good. Marcus says, I hate we are signed with Under Armour. Could you see us sign up with Jordan? And do we still look good with Harbor? See Maryland's doing shady stuff. If gun to my head, I kind of feel like Carolina will not get Nick Harbor at the end. But I also kind of feel like it won't be Maryland. I think to go to Michigan at the end of the day. That's just kind of my feel about it. I think there's still some confidence on the part of the Gamecocks. But right now, and things could change, that's the thing. I don't want to sit here and like blow sunshine at you and say I think it's going to happen when I really don't. I'd be lying to myself. But hey, that could change. I could get some encouraging news. It's recruiting. It's very fluid. Ed says gut feeling on Sellers. Now my gut feeling there is that Carolina will probably get it. I'd call it a hunch. So that's one of the things. Lance says I'm currently recruiting new members to Carolina Rise here in J Vegas. Lance, I don't know who you've been talking to, but see, I see the new members as they come through, and there's a bunch of them. See quite a few from Johnsonville. Well done, sir. Well done, sir. Yes, sir.
Well done.
Quantrell says is Die Hard considered a Christmas movie, and is Die Hard 2 the best sequel of sequel movies? Sequel, man, I'd still have to go with Godfather Part 2.
Yeah, Godfather 2 and The Empire Strikes Back are my top favorite sequels.
Yeah. And I'll say this, it'd been like, what, 30 years or so, or 36 years since the first Top Gun to the sequel.
Oh, the Top Gun, yeah. Not
a bad sequel there. I mean, I thought the Top Gun Maverick movie hit the right amount of like callbacks and stuff. But unlike like the Coming to America sequel, which I enjoyed the Coming to America sequel. And at the end, it flew right over my head that was Sexual Chocolate. I was like, oh, I wonder who's going to be singing. It's going to be Beyonce or something. And then like everybody started going, ooh, and then it hit me. And I stood up and clapped and said, it's just Sexual Chocolate, Sexual Chocolate. And it was. But that movie was just kind of like let's reminisce on Coming to America for good times, right?
Yeah.
I thought Maverick had enough original story and enough it hit the sweet spot for me. I mean, some people don't like it, some people do. 76 says the Die Hard movies are all fun, the first of which is mostly a Christmas movie. I saw Santa land on the Nakatomi building. And so, but Die Hard 2 is excellent too. That's the one where she's the airplane one, the airport one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then,
I think so, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And James from Good Times is a bad guy.
Right.
Dude, who's also is Cleo McDowell in Coming to America.
Full circle
there on that one, Phil. Lance says, what can I say? I'm a top 25 recruiter. Saunders says The Dark Knight is up there as far as sequels go. Yeah, a lot of people like that one too. Bad Boys 2 was a great sequel. I rather enjoy all the Bad Boys movies, Marcus. Even the last one they came out with, I thought was cool. They really good. Godfather 2 is the best sequel ever, and not counting the Lord of the Rings since they were all made at the same time. Papa Duck says, look at Presbyterian College in Clinton, South Carolina, or Lawrence Raiders or Union, South Carolina for recruitment. Okay. Top Gun 1 and 2, best 1-2 punch out there. Oh my God. KFC says Starship Troopers, the best.
I didn't know they made a 2.
Sonder likes the Avatar movie, The Way of Water. The opinions have been mixed on that one.
Still haven't seen that.
So 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
I'm going to get on
yourself, James Cameron.
I'm going to get on the Avatar ride here, and I guess in 1 week I'll be chilling at Epcot, right, with my mom and a 4-year-old and my fiance, my stepfather.
That'll be fun. Are the boys going?
No, they're not going. They're actually they're home alone, man. They're home alone, 17 and 14. They're going to be chilling here. Big step, right? Watching the dog, ordering takeout, playing video games. Aliens was a great sequel. It is. And people don't understand like that. Some people don't remember that is a sequel. Aliens. So Saunders says, y'all at like 3 hours is so long. You can't tell me you've never binged 3 episodes of a show all at once. I call shenanigans. Okay, you called me, Saunders. Because when Succession comes back out on HBO Max, that's what I'm going to do for a week. When Ozark came out.
But there's, Saunders, there's a difference in doing it from the comfort of your own home and doing it in a movie theater.
No doubt. RB says, what's Maryland doing that's shady? Trying to keep local guys home. Don't get me wrong, their program stinks, but if I were them, I'd do the same thing. Well, I think with Carolina people, as far as the shadiness goes, I think those guys. I think the issue is South Carolina's an Under Armour school, right? And you've got the guy from Under Armour recruiting against you. I mean, I don't know. It sounds kind of weird. Ryan, was Rambo First Blood was the original 80s action Christmas movie. Yes, First Blood is a bad freaking movie. I say bad in a good way. It's like bad arse. It's a bad arse movie.
Mm-hmm.
It is good too. I mean, it's a little more realistic than the other Rambos. I think that movie is sort of dark and good, but the rest of them are just like action. The last Rambo, though, that was pretty awesome when he went down to Mexico and just killed everybody. My man, he went down to Mexico, killed everybody because I guess it was his niece or something, or stepdaughter died of an overdose. I watched it once. My friend Skipper told me to watch it, and it was good. And he's driving back from Mexico, like to his ranch in Arizona or something, and just throws a head out the window. I'm like, whoa! don't piss him off, Quattrell says, who did Carolina have before Under Armour? I felt like the basketball team had Nike at one point. Yeah, basketball was Nike, and football was Russell Athletic, but basketball was Nike for a while. Charles says, remove GWO from the chats for gifts for his movie choices. Krager says, thanks to Big Spur for giving me Paramount Plus so I can watch 1923 in Yellowstone. Yep, that's a perk. And
all inclusive. Mm-hmm.
Some people's wives out there, like especially when I first started it, they're like, my wife won't let me pay that $10 a month and join. She says it takes up too much of my time. And I'm like, I get it. You spend all that time on that red website. Yeah, I know. Well, now that we have Paramount Plus as part of the deal, the wives have gotten quiet about it because that's where they get to watch their stories on Paramount Plus, and there's stuff for the kids to watch on Paramount Plus, and it's included in your membership. So it's been a good for you guys out there. Just be like, hey, are you enjoying that Paramount Plus? Because if I cancel this, it's going to cancel that. What's a good way to stay member of the Big Spur if your significant other's like, get off that red website? Yeah, the red website.
Who are you texting? No, it's a message board. Oh my God.
Who are you texting to?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. That's awesome. All right. Good time for a break. Don't forget Keith Allsup's coming up here on the other side, right here on Inside the Gamecocks, the show. But we'll be back after these messages. Hey man, are you sick and tired of your business computer guy?
Yes, he takes forever to call me back and doesn't always respond to the requests.
Yeah, same here. I'm paying him good money. I constantly have issues, and I'm worried he's not backing up my network and securing it properly.
You know what, Phil? Let's ask Stone Blanton.
Hey, JC and Phil, if you want a solution to your IT problems, give Heritage Digital a call. Our boy Matt Odom has a low-cost, one-price solution that will get you running right. Call 843-699-1001 or heritagedigital.com and ask for Matt. He will hook you up today and tell them Stone sent you.
If you're looking to sell or buy multifamily property right here in South Carolina, the Burgesson team of RE/MAX at the Lake can help you get to closing fast and easy. Adam and Derek Burgesson both are very proud Gamecocks and are more than happy to assist you with any of your commercial real estate needs all across the state. You can email Adam at aburgesson@remax.net. That's ABERGESON at remax.net to get your next deal underway. The Burgesson team, proud sponsors of Inside the Gamecocks.
Family vacations, a new car, a new boat, all cost money, but you don't necessarily have to make more to afford any of that if you can save cash that's flying out the window now. iHelp Consulting can help you finally get the kids to Disney World, upgrade the minivan, or drop that new boat in the water next summer. Let Daniel and iHelp Consulting consult with you. No fees, just savings. You pay them a percentage of those savings. Save on essential services, credit card fees, you name it. Let them find it. These folks are incredible. iHelpConsulting.com. How can I help?
I used to be president of the United States, and I love the show with Phil and JC.
Welcome back to Inside the Gamecocks, the show, everybody. Brought to you by Express Sunrooms in Columbia. Give John Barber a call. Set up a free consultation for your next outdoor retreat. 803-466-4... 446-4662. Give John a call. Shoot him an email. What is it? jbarber@expresssunrooms.com. John, love to hear from you, and he'd love to know that you heard it here. And then give Cindy Searfalls a call for all your upstate residential real estate needs. 864-414-5271 is a way to get in touch with her and the Coldwell Banker Kane Realty team out of Spartanburg.
So Quantrell is beside himself in the chat box that South Carolina once was Russell Athletic.
Yeah, and Russell Athletic, I know. Yeah, it was until Spurrier got here. That was through the whole thing.
Spurrier was like, well, no, we're not doing this. Even they had 2 years left on the Russell deal. And he's like, shoot, and he didn't even wear the Russell stuff on the sideline. Hardly. He had a local company do a signature shirt it was really snazzy. It had the Palmetto and Crescent, said Carolina on it, and it has a Steve Spurrier signature. And he wore those shirts and that visor on the sidelines. I'm like, dude, that takes like guts to wear clothes with your signature on them. That's awesome. He would not, and he's like, we got to get rid of this. And even the first year, they switched shoes to Reebok. But yeah, some of you folks out there that are younger don't remember those days. Yeah, like South Carolina was like Russell Athletic. Yes, and Quantrell goes, does Russell Athletic make shoes? I guess they did back then. Dude Raw says, how can you guys miss Beverly Hills Cop and Lethal Weapon? Yeah, love those. Love the Lethal Weapons. Love the ones where Joe Pesci comes along too. John says we need to have the late great Bill Paxton's line from Aliens on the Jumbotron every time we enter victory formation. Game over, man. Game over. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Krager's memorized the entire Beverly Hills Cop movie. Quite a feat. Dean says Paramount Plus is great for the wife. She says don't get rid of it. Charles has an unpopular opinion. Alien is way better than Aliens. Aliens is shoot 'em up action. Alien is horror at its best. JC knows the conversations we have. Too funny. Who are you texting? Get off that red website. So what's the worst sequel ever? Caddyshack 2 or The Exorcist 2?
Oh, that Caddyshack 2 is not the worst sequel ever. That's a great sequel. That's funny as hell. I laughed my ass off through the whole thing.
The Dan Aykroyd character was pretty, he wasn't the Bill Murray character, but the Dan Aykroyd character was interesting.
No, he's great. Jackie Mason, how could you miss?
The most disappointing sequel I've seen in a while is the Hangover sequels. Like the first Hangover, I laughed till my side hurt, especially when the dude jumps naked out the trunk. I mean, I laughed my behind. I mean, I just thought it was the funniest thing ever. And then the next one was just kind of like, eh. And the next one was like, eh. And we all just kind of sat there waiting to laugh. I don't know. Connor says, if y'all seen Kentucky fans still acting like Bama or Georgia, they're still upset we beat them. They can't stand it. Love it. Well, they also lost to Vanderbilt.
Right. Mm.
They upset that Vandy beat them.
They're a little sore coming into this offseason, a little sore.
I'm just like, somebody says, Brian says Sigourney Weaver was sexy in Aliens. I thought so. There's something about her for a while there. Connor says he used to know Forrest Gump, The Notebook, and Pearl Harbor word for word when I was in high school 10 years ago. Forrest Gump, yeah. Pearl Harbor and The Notebook. No, I used to know somebody that would quote The Notebook to me. Worst sequel ever is Teen Wolf 2 with Jason Bateman.
That's arguable, though, man. That's a terrible movie.
I know. What a career trajectory, though. You go from Teen Wolf 2 to like the man in Ozark.
Ozark, right? Yeah.
Jason Bateman. I mean, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Hard disagree. Alien and Aliens are equally great for the same premise. Okay. Zach says he's probably seen Forrest Gump 100 times.
Oh, I've seen it more than that. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So the Sandlot 2 takes the cake. Yeah, I don't know about all that. All right, so talking movies here on Inside the Gamecocks, the show. That can get things way off track. The Gamecock basketball team loses in Greenville. That's unfortunate.
Well, let's go back to talking movies.
Yeah. I just want to say this. Lost to East Carolina, got way down, came back, couldn't close the deal. I mean, I kind of thought it was a nice badge of honor that the Gamecocks had never lost a game at the Well. You kind of say home away from home or something like that. Well, that's out the window now. Back to movies. Brian Beatty says, Raising Arizona was my favorite movie growing up. Classic line from that. Son, you got a panty on your head.
You got a panty on your head.
Yeah, love that.
My mom was trying to give us a dining room table, which I would have taken because it's a really nice table, but she's keeping the chairs. And of course, my wife's the first one to say, dining room table and chairs, you got a dinette set. Dining room table, no chairs, you ain't got.
I can actually hear her saying that. By the way, speaking of crazy endings in pro football yesterday, did anybody see the Patriots Raiders game? I
saw the highlights on how it ended. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, it's 24-24, and the Patriots went rogue because Bill Belichick didn't call that play and say do it. The Patriots go rogue. They try to flip it backward. A defensive lineman who used to play for New England, by the way, jumps in front of it, runs it back for a touchdown, and the Raiders win. I was like, that's the most unbelievable. My
favorite part was how he just housed the dude in front of him after he caught the ball. Just tosses him to the damn ground. He's like, this is over. I end this now.
Yeah. People are asking about Vakari Swain and his visit to Colorado. Yeah. There's some things that kind of, I don't know. If I'm South Carolina, I'm a little concerned with. Apparently, the Gamecocks are wanting him as a corner, and other schools want him as a receiver. I think his high school coach thinks he's a receiver. So I don't know, man. He's been locked in, committed for a while. I think if the position ends up being a big deal, or Colorado has an NIL deal for him or something, I mean, I can't rule out a flip. But and it's just for those reasons, and those reasons are in public. I think his coach actually did say, according to Hale, that he thinks he's a receiver, but that he's solid to Carolina. So I don't know. I think Carolina needs him. You need all the fast, speedy guys you can get, and he's fast and speedy. But I think it's going to be interesting to see sort of what happens moving forward. With that, so that's I don't have. Hale hadn't talked to him yet. Nobody's talked to him yet. So we'll see sort of what happens like that. John says Mac Jones was tossed aside like a doll.
Oh, was it Mac Jones? That makes it even better.
Yeah.
That makes it even better.
And Kreger says Minnesota came back from 30 points down and beat the Colts.
God, what does that say about Matt Ryan? That guy has suffered so many just collapses. I mean, 28-3 in the Super Bowl, obviously we all remember, but 33-0 at halftime and you lose the game. Poor Matt Ryan.
Chandler Jones, the defensive lineman for the Raiders that made the play, Brian points out, is the brother of his favorite fighter and the GOAT, John Jones. The GOAT. Clint says, I think Swain projects better as a receiver too. Yeah, Clint, I'm not against that at all. And I think, I think if I'm South Carolina, I'm saying, well, you can give it a shot, at receiver. I mean, it's not like the Gamecocks are super duper deep at that spot, Connor's got a conspiracy theory. A video said the game was rigged for Oakland to win. Las Vegas now. but that's okay.
Right.
We all make those mistakes. I still call them the Los Angeles Raiders sometimes. The LA
San
Raiders.
San Diego Chargers is the hardest one for me to remember. They're LA now.
That was shady too, man.
Yeah, no, I hated it for the San Diego fans, man.
Yeah, and what they did was, it's close enough to where, gosh, you could probably, if you're a big Chargers fan, drive up for the game and back from San Diego, but just ripping it out of the community and giving it to LA and then sharing a stadium, I think. I mean, it works for the Jets and Giants, but man, something weird about the Los Angeles Chargers, right? So, but hey, they won. I think they beat the Titans, and they're talking about those guys going to the Super Bowl. So wouldn't it be kind of neat if the LA Rams win the Super Bowl and then the LA Chargers won the next Super Bowl? St. Louis and San Diego a little mad. St. Louis and San Diego a little mad about it. Clarence says, any word on where Corey Rucker may end up? Clarence, he may just not play football anymore. Because he's in the portal with a do not contact. And that means usually kids know where they're going, right? Do not contact me. But there's no place where he's going. So the word I got was he may just not, he's had enough. So I don't know. Daddy O says Matt Ryan needs to buy a fishing pole. It's past time. So.
Yeah, time to hang it up.
JC says, or Quantrell says, JC, what determines bowl sites? Is it how big the city is, and can Columbia ever become one? They were talking about a bowl in Columbia for a while. Basically just some of these places get together and decide we want a bowl, and then they form a committee and raise money and get a sponsor, get ESPN involved. Myrtle Beach did it because Coastal Stadium is big enough for a minor bowl. Obviously, Williams-Brice would be plenty. But I don't know. Columbia, a lot of it is, is it an attractive destination where fans want to come spend a couple of days? I think there's a lot to do in Columbia. I could spend a couple of days there, but, most of the time there's something, that you can kind of tie to. But I wouldn't be opposed to it. I think I'm glad they have one in Myrtle Beach. I think Charleston could obviously be a bold destination. Johnson Haygood Stadium, the Citadel expands or something, so that's it. And then KFC says, holy Christ, the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl. Yeah, he's sponsoring it was the Los Angeles Bowl, but now it's the Jimmy Kimmel Los Angeles Bowl. So how about that? Dr. Chandler says, thoughts on coaching changes after the bowl games? Do we stay with everyone current? Thank you. I think it's going to be a new O-line coach, definitely. And that's just because Greg Atkin's contract ends. They didn't renew or extend it the last time there was a board of trustees meeting. I think for health reasons, he's probably either going off the field or retiring. I think Lonnie Teasley probably is the favorite to get that job. Maybe not. And then I think as far as other changes go, I can't rule them out, but don't be shocked if there's not. I mean, it's kind of one of those things that a lot of times, we sit there and we think about changes that would optimize a staff, and we get ahead of ourselves a little bit. But again, I can't rule it out. I'm not going to go all the way in and say it's definitely going to happen, other than the O-line situation, which I think is pretty obvious. So I'm just not going to do it. Quantrell says, could Greenville become a bowl site, growing city? Yeah, GSP would be perfect, but where do you play it?
Yeah, that's it. We don't have the facilities for it. Yeah.
I mean, you can't. Furman's not really big enough. If Furman built a new stadium, like a 25,000 seat up there at TR, probably. I mean, Wofford has room to expand their stadium because you got a big hill and it's kind of down in the valley and stuff like that. Maybe they expand their stadium. I don't know, but that's the problem with the upstate is, like Serene Stadium used to be a pretty big stadium, not anymore.
No.
I used to live in the parking lot of Serene Stadium. Trust me. I don't know where you'd play it. Zach says, I'm hearing the local Dave and Buster's is a big factor in Sellers recruitment, according to Syracuse fans.
Dave and Buster's. Jeez.
Dave and Buster's. Pretty good gosh, they have these little pretzel hot dog things that are pretty good. Dave and Buster's.
I've never been there. It's like when it first came to Greenville, the line was so freaking long to get in, and I'm like, I'm not waiting in line in anything in this city.
No,
so I just didn't go in, and now I haven't, thought about going back.
There's so many restaurants in Greenville you should never really have to wait in line. I used to go. I went there with like my nephews back when I lived in Greenville, and we actually took the boys. Gosh, it was before the pandemic. Carolina was playing Arkansas in basketball that day. I remember we took the boys over to the Dave and Buster's near us and had a blast watching ball and having beers, burgers during the day. But it was, it's a pretty good time. Dave and Buster's. Craig says, JC, are we on Braylon Staley, a wide receiver from Midland? Or Aiken. Have not heard that name. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. That's a new name for me, Craig, right here with that. So yeah, back to the coaching change thing. You just want to be fair, and the last thing you want to do is say, because these things are so fluid, right? Is say this guy's definitely out, and this guy's coming, and this guy, because you're probably, I've been in this business a while. I mean, there's no done deals until they're done. And so you run the risk of, thought he was coming and didn't, or thought the move was going to be made, but it didn't. I went through that last year with the Marcus Satterfield situation. And come to find out, no move was made. So I'm just trying to be a little bit conservative on that. And it's Christmas time, and quite frankly, these are human beings that coach football, that have families and stuff like that. And, who am I to sit out here and talk about somebody being fired at Christmas? I don't want to do that. I don't. Now if certain guests on my show want to talk about it, that's fine. I'm not. We have kind of a free for all here, but I'm just because honestly, my gut says I just don't know. I think there's a possibility that the only real change we see is with O-line and Dowell Loggins. But I also think it's possible a couple other moves are made. It's also possible coaches on the staff can get jobs elsewhere. That happens sometimes. And so we'll just kind of see. Kreger lost his wallet this weekend. That's a helpless feeling.
Oh, I hate that. Oh, it's awful.
I lost my wallet in New York City in December of 2017. And it was snowing. I was by myself. And luckily, I had my driver's license and my business credit card in my pocket.
Oh, nice.
The wallet was in my jacket, and it got gone. And so it was funny because nobody ever, I never got any weird charges or anything. So it's almost just like it was lost, Yeah. That's the thing, too.
I lost a debit card in Mexico at Epcot once.
Oh,
yeah, that was that's not good. I had to cancel that real quick.
Yeah. Your money is there's people around Disney. They'll pick that up and your money will be gone. $1,000 worth of mouse gear.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't take but like one or two stops, and then you're like, okay, well.
Clarence says looks like Big Tree announces tomorrow. Assume he's Maryland bound. If he has a press conference or something, that would be the way I lean. Last I checked, though, the opinion of recruiting people and folks outside of the building at Carolina is a little bit more pro Maryland than the Gamecocks feeling right now. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think, there's just a lot going on with Big Tree and his family, and the Maryland staff or whoever. They've come in and painted a nice picture of how beneficial it will be to stay close to home. Plus, he's a DeMatha kid, and that's where Marshawn Lloyd came from. So that's the deal there. Craig says, help us feeling. Quantrell says, Seller seems like a Gamecock lock. He's having an announcement for a team he's been committed to for a while. That makes no sense. Yeah, same thing with Big Tree. If Big Tree, Big Tree's technically decommitted. Sellers would be a pure flip.
Yeah.
But, we'll see sort of what happens there. But, yeah, looking forward to all the recruiting stuff getting going. Boy, I'm going to be a busy, busy beaver this week. It's going to be crazy. I've got Carolina Rise stuff. Some of you that ordered T-shirts, I've got them heading out to you. I'm going to do my best if I get them in my hands to overnight them to you before Christmas. The trucker hats, the white ones, I'm going to try to get to you before Christmas. The black ones with the leather patch are still in production. I didn't know it was going to take this long. I apologize, but I'm going to try my best to get everything out before Christmas for all you folks that, so I probably should have put something up that said for Christmas delivery, order by this date. And I didn't because I'm not a retail person. I'm like, T-shirts. No, T-shirts, whatever. Rick says we need a play called the Big Mick. Yeah, I know. Our buns have no seeds, sir. Our buns have no seeds. You got the Big Mac, we got the Big Mick. So that's funny right there. 76 says, lost my wallet in Myrtle Beach. Another bad place to lose a wallet. So here we are, the three of us and Kreger. Myrtle Beach, New York City, Epcot, Disney World. Probably three of the worst places to lose your wallet. Vegas would be up there too. My dumb butt left it on top of my car. I remembered where I thought it slid off the car, went back, and it was in the bushes right there. About had a heart attack.
Man, you got a lucky 76.
Kreger says, is your gear on a website? Yeah, there's two stores actually. It's at CarolinaRise.com. If you scroll down, there's like T-shirts and koozies. Then if you go to CarolinaRiseMembers.com, that has the full allotment of gear, the new trucker hats and everything like that. So it's two spots. John says, did you get my Carolina Rise 1801 enrollment last week? Got to rep the Pac Northwest. I did, John. I appreciate it. I think I sent you a magnet out, maybe. I don't know. I'm doing it in order, because I got magnets going out to everybody that signed up new. And there's actually more people that have signed up since Jaheim Bell went in the portal than there were before Jaheim Bell went in the portal. So I'm a little over. So I've been ordering I'm out of magnets now. So I'm going to try to get that. My idea was to get them to you before the bowl, but I don't think everybody will get theirs. And then I'm sending everybody a Christmas card or a holiday card, if you will, because it's kind of a year in review. So we can kind of sneak it in as a New Year's card if it doesn't get there by Christmas. So,
nice.
That kind of thing. But it's one of those things. It's a good thing and a bad thing. When I planned all this to send Christmas cards out, I was like, we'll probably get 30, 40 more, and send them all out at once. It'll be easy. And that's not easy. And plus it's signing day. And plus I sit here for 2 hours and talk to you fine folks every day. So it's been a mess around the Sherbert house. If you could see it, if I had my webcam, I'll get a webcam eventually so you guys can look around and see my environment here. It's embarrassing. Looks like Sanford and Son's front yard.
This is what my bonus room looks like up here right now because we pulled all the Christmas stuff out and it's like boxes of crap everywhere. And happy Hanukkah to our Jewish listeners.
Yes, happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
He says, any news on Vakari Swain? Nah, I went over it earlier. Nothing. I can't rule a flip out there just because of the position information, but hang on to your hat. So I don't know. I mean, Colorado is a long way away too. So from Carrollton, Georgia. All right, time for a break. Keith Allsup will be with us for his Monday review to talk some recruiting and some other stuff right here on the show after these messages.
Just as your State Farm agent combines good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates, you can combine your home, auto, life, or small business insurance with Tony Pope State Farm Insurance today. And guess what you'll get? That's right, even more good neighbor service with surprisingly great rates. In fact, Tony Pope State Farm is your go-to agent anywhere in South Carolina, North Carolina, or Georgia for the service you deserve at the price you want. So try combining your home, life, auto, and or small business insurance today. Tony Pope State Farm has been in business for more than 30 years and can handle anything you need in the tri-state area. Once again, Tony Pope State Farm will help you mix and match perfectly. Call 843-851-2222 or visit TonyPope.com today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Whoop, easy. He's gonna tie him by the tail, he has.
He better hang on too.
People have spoken. Nana's Porch was voted the third best food truck or trailer by the Charlotte newspaper public poll. Also, their pimento cheese took third in a contest exclusively for products made in this state of North Carolina. I will let Noah Hall tell you about the rest. Nana's Porch, Southern cuisine with an uptown twist. If you're in the upstate of South Carolina and are in need of residential real estate services, Cindy Bass Searfoss of Caldwell Banker Kane is for you. Ask her about the village at Creekside, all of her listings in my hometown of Spartanburg, South Carolina, right there on Daniel Morgan Avenue, married to a lifelong Gamecock fan. And many of our listeners have already bought homes from her and been 100% satisfied with the detail and care she uses. Cindy Searfoss, 864-414-5271, Caldwell Banker Kane in the upstate for your real estate needs.
This is Braylon Wimmer, South Carolina Gamecock Baseball, and you are listening to Inside the Gamecocks, the show with JC and Phil. Go Cox!
Welcome back to Inside the Gamecocks, the show, everybody. Presented to you by Express Sunrooms in Columbia. Give John Barber a call at 803-446-4662 to schedule a no-cost consultation. Talk about a backyard retreat or enclosing a porch for you down there in the Columbia area. And the second hour of the show is brought to you by the Burgesson team at Remax by the Lake. Give Adam or Derek a call. Shoot them an email, abergeson, that's ABERGESON, at remax.net. And joining us on the McKellar Enterprises guest line is none other than the Cockfather himself, Keith Allsup. Keith, the women played really well this weekend, but men not so much. Did you kind of expect this, Keith, coming into with Lamont Paris's first year, or were your expectations set just a little bit higher than what it is we're seeing on the court right now?
Phil, I think you could just you could record that lead-in line right there, and that would be applicable on every Monday for the rest of the season.
You're probably right, Keith. You're probably right. I am not looking forward to conference play.
I mean, look, the bottom line is this: despite G.G. Jackson is a historically bad roster. I mean, it's just bad. I mean, I like Michi Johnson a little bit, quite frankly. I think Michi and Gigi are probably the only two guys that anybody else in the rest of the conference would want on their roster from South Carolina. I think nobody would want the rest unless it was just as a practice body. I mean, Hayden Brown, South Carolina's making a move. They got a chance to get back in. I did watch a little bit of that game. Dude gets a beautiful pass right on rhythm. He goes underneath the rim to lay it up on the other side to shield the defense like you want, and he can't make it. He had a chance even against Georgetown to win the game in regulation with the free throws and couldn't do it. Michi had to do it with about a 26-footer. And so I would be shocked if South Carolina, maybe they get one conference win. But this is just a really bad basketball team. And a lot of times that's just what you get when you're a first-year head coach at a program that squandered their only chance for success. Everybody bailed out. Look, if you have Dwayne Notice, if you have Keyshawn Bryant, if you have Devin Carter, even Wildens Levesque, if you have those guys with G.G. Jackson and the rest of those guys can come off the bench, then you got a chance. But this team, their chance was slim and none, and Slim packed his bag 6 months ago and hadn't been seen since.
Yeah, it's been tough to watch, man. It has been.
Yes, there goes the undefeated record at the Bon Secours Wellness Arena.
Yeah,
too.
right. Yeah, blew that too. I know. Yeah.
The points of pride are quickly. Hey, at least they beat Clemson. That's probably So somebody said the other day, like the 2 goals this year realistically were beat Clemson and get Gigi to the NBA. So hopefully Gigi gets the NBA fine and they do have the win over Clemson. But I just, after all the smack that me and Keith both talked about the clapper at Vanderbilt, after going 0-19 in the SEC, I just pray that South Carolina does not go 0-19 in the SEC, because that would be a little bit of karma. Although
that dude, he had players.
He had 2 starters,
NBA players,
2 starters in the NBA on that team, and they didn't win a dang conference game.
Yeah,
yeah, that's not. Lamont Paris has 1 guy that's really, really good, but also 17 years old. So
right. Well, I think he turned 18. Didn't he turn 18
on
Saturday? So he just turned 18, right?
Just turned 18. So
I mean, he should be getting ready for a Christmas tournament in his senior year in high school. Instead, he's getting pushed around by 21 and 22-year-olds.
Right. So, switching gears to football recruiting, Keith, 3 known commitments from the portal, 1 known from high school, waiting on another one from the high school / junior college ranks. We'll start with the high school kid. Tyshawn Russell, like this kid, good big time high school program up there in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Bishop McDevitt, kind of a senior riser, 4 touchdowns in the state championship game. I know Justin Stepp likes him a lot. Your thoughts on getting Sean in the boat? Looks like he had a good visit and he's forward to be a Gamecock.
JC, I really like him. I like the film. I like he's a winner. I like he's from Western Pennsylvania, where they normally, the pipeline goes to a lot of schools normally in the Northeast and then into the NFL. I think he's got everything you want. He's got quick twitch ability. He's got excellent hands. He's got good size and speed. I don't know what his situation is, if he will be an early enrollee or if he will come in the summer. But I think this kid has all the tools that you look for in an SEC wide receiver. So I really like that playoff or that commitment. I think that will pay dividends out of that program in the future. It could open up another lane for you, because South Carolina's offered several other prospects, or at least tracking other prospects from that high school. They were state champions, and you love to get winners in your program, guys that are used to winning big.
Absolutely. I like that. I mean, people a lot of times ask, like Nick Jones, why was Nick Jones so good and so underrated coming out? I was like, well, Nick Jones was good because he played for a championship level program. He knew how to run routes coming out of high school at an elite level, and he's faster than people thought.
Governor Nicky. One day he could be governor.
Nicky Jones. Nicky Jones. So yeah, I mean, you see it with Dutch Fork kids now. Going and playing pretty well at the next level. So yeah, that always helps. I'm like, I kind of like, as far as my preference goes, I kind of like to have like a mix. I like finding guys from like Kingstree and Lamar and Lake City and places like that around the state. And then also with the big time winning programs like your Gaffneys in the world, Burns at one time, Dutch Fork, Norman, those places like that. From the portal, the game guy help it tight and a lot more way. Smith, from Jacksonville, Penn State commit for a while, flipped to Florida. Not happy with the way he was used in that offense at all. And now he's a Gamecock. Big bodied guy. I think somebody that you can add depth with, good blocker. Your thoughts on Nicky E?
Well, first, I think he'll be a nightmare for Todd Ellis during the broadcast if they throw him the ball. I mean, so this guy is, you turn on the high school film, you do see good ball skills. You see the ability to run. He's athletic. Now he's, 2 or 3 years older. He's almost 250 pounds, more of an inline tight end, a guy that should be able to help you block in the C area, and then a guy that should be a nice possession receiver with size. And let's face it, South Carolina is having to rebuild the entire tight end room. Okay. After the bowl game, there will be 0 scholarship tight ends remaining. You've got Connor Cox. This gives him a chance to come in and get bigger and stronger without throwing him out there. Obviously, Gamecocks involved with some more portal tight ends as well. JC, Trey Knox, and Joshua Simon. I think Simon is a really good bet after Western Kentucky's bowl game. He's from Sumter. He's a guy that is a pass catcher. So is Trey Knox. Trey Knox was recruited to Arkansas by Justin Stepp. And so I think South Carolina's got a chance to help themselves. And then, you got Reed McKeska as well, who I anticipate signing. All indications are he will sign with South Carolina on Wednesday, and he's a big-bodied guy that, can block and catch. So the Gamecocks are having to retool the tight end room, and I like what they're doing because they're getting a mix of older guys. So the younger guys like Cameron Sandlin, who will be learning an entirely new position, and Connor Cox, and possibly even Reed McKeska, depending on when he comes in, may not have to be pressed into action immediately.
Gamecocks got their center, and hats off to Keith because he called this after the Avery Young to Illinois thing. Nick Gargiulo, Phil
Gargiulo.
Yeah,
Gargiulo. Guy looks like with a mustache. He looks kind of like Matt Dillon, or there's something about Mary, or an extra from Magnum PI in the 1980s. Scary dude. But man, 6'5", 295, all Ivy League at Yale. Tough, hard-nosed, physical. I mean, beat your face in. Name it. I love guys like this. The Italian dudes from the Northeast that play offensive line, man, they don't mess around. I think this may be kind of an underrated pickup for the Gamecocks as far as next year's offensive line is concerned, Keith.
Well, I think he would have been a godsend for Marcus Satterfield's offense, because clearly he would have probably been the guy with the best chance to understand it and process it quickly, being an Ivy League guy. He reminds me on Saturdays, he's got his face painted up like one of those WWE wrestlers from the early 2000s. He's got the long hair, the face painted. He's 6'5", 295. Oh, he's mean. If I had the telestrator, I'd be going all full blown on it right now. But I like him. This is a position of need. He's a 6th-year player, so he's probably, like 24 years old. He'll get into the SEC strength program immediately. He'll go through spring practice. And so you have to like this. And, JC, you and I were talking one night, and when Avery Jones, like you said, picked Illinois, a kid from Havelock that, South Carolina had been involved with, you just had to think something was up. And you notice Nick Gargiulo and the Reno connection there. And by the way, congrats to their offensive coordinator. I believe his name's Cahill. He just got the head coaching job at Lehigh. I still remember vividly, JC, a conversation with Clyde Wren after Fran Person picked the Gamecocks. It was actually by accident because Lou Holtz was not supposed to offer him a scholarship. He read the wrong card, and Fran immediately committed. And Clyde said, "Well, never beat Lehigh on one before. Beat Michigan, Notre Dame, Southern Cal, Texas, Georgia, Florida, Florida State. Never beat Lehigh on one." So congrats to Coach Cahill and Fran Person turned out all right for the Gamecocks, so that was ended up being a good addition to the program.
Yeah, he's still around. A friend lived. He lived. I lived at Place on the Green in 5 Points when I was at Carolina. A friend lived on the 4th floor. Nice guy, really nice guy. Chris Payne from Nana's Porch says, "Cockfather, let's hit Black's Barbecue Wednesday." Sep. He says he'll drive over, so get with him. Y'all have it he's out in Texas right now.
We got to get together.
Spreading his deliciousness out there. I guess he's out leaving family. Clint says, "Well, basketball, it's worse than what Horn left Frank Martin," and that's saying something. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, because
as good as Gigi is, the rest of it kind of. I mean, the rest of the guys have been disappointing. I mean. And I don't know. It's just it's going to be a long year. It's going to be a long year. So, it's times like this in college basketball. You wish there was a draft. You go 3-27. Oh, we get the first pick. No,
yeah, right.
It's just going to get worse. It's just going to get worse, probably.
You can't tank for NIL dollars.
Yeah,
tank
for NIL.
Gamecocks are in tank mode though, but there's no number one pick. There's no lottery. There's still Mick Cronin, who punched Calipari in the face. He had to reach up to do it. Mick's kind of vertically challenged. That's my guy, but he punched Calipari and they punched him in the face. Shebue had no answer for the toughness of the little wizard of Westwood.
The
Mickey
little
Cronin.
wizard of Westwood. So, Phil, by the way, I sent you a picture of Nick G in your email. If you want to show our listeners that, whatever it says. So before we show this picture to everybody, and people understand what I mean by the extra and the Matt Dillon thing, Mario Anderson, kind of an intriguing guy, Keith. I know the staff's really high on him. I think that he has good potential. You just got to make that. You got to make that transition, and that's not always easy. But 7 yards for carry, Harlan Hill Trophy finalist at Newberry. Played at Stratford down in Goose Creek. Really good football program down there. In-state kid, jumped in the boat. Coming to South Carolina, your thoughts on Mario, the third known portal edition.
Super Mario.
Super
JC.
Mario.
I mean, this kid, his story kind of reminds me of a kid I coached at Goose Creek High School in basketball. And, he's really a remarkable story and a guy that, from multiple sources in the building, they feel that he is, essentially the same size as Marshawn Lloyd, powerful, fast, explosive, tough, and he's overcome a lot just for him to make it into college, let alone to be transferring to an SEC program. And so this is a guy that's going to be easy to pull for, and a guy that it will definitely be on my list of guys to watch for spring practice for sure. You got to love the explosiveness. The statistics are eye-popping. He was in the running for the, like you said, I think the Harlan Hill Trophy, which is essentially the Division II Heisman. And, South Carolina, losing Lloyd, losing Christian Beal Smith, they really, other than Juju McDowell, who, quite frankly, probably should be a slot guy most of the time, they return zero experience at the running back position. So to get a guy like this that's been lathered up 2 years in a row, I think it's important.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't know that the Gamecocks are quite finished at running back in the portal either. You did have the kid from Oklahoma State in this weekend, and you never know what may happen down the road. with that. All right, so the Trey Knox kid, the tight end from Arkansas, visited this weekend. Now, people are going to get confused when you talk about tight ends from Arkansas, because there's a kid that's committed, Shamar, what's his name, from the high school ranks that visited from Arkansas. But then there's also Trey Knox, who is in the portal. He's from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. You talked about him earlier. Keith, what do you think about the Gamecocks shot there? I feel really good about it.
I mean, I feel pretty good about it. I mean, you would have liked, he's got a lot of options. Like, to me, this is really, if you were stacking all the tight ends up and there's one guy that you really need for next season, it's Trey Knox, because he was a wide receiver. He's a flex guy. He's like a bigger version of Jaheim Bell that can play in the slot, that can play out wide, that's a big body guy at 6'5", 245, that can inflict punishment with yards after the catch and ability to break tackles, and a guy that's got a lot of SEC experience. And so for me, this guy, he's kind of a 5-star transfer to me, because the impact I think he could make on this offense would probably be more than all the other tight ends combined, just, for 2023.
Absolutely. I'm with you there totally. Lenore Sellers will wrap it up with Keith Allsup with everybody's got to take on Lenore Sellers. Got to get yours on the gunslinging Shrine Bowl MVP from South Florence Bruins, Gamecocks and Q's. Keith, I think the Gamecocks are in trouble because a Syracuse fan tweeted at him the top 10 reasons to go to Syracuse, and Dave & Buster's was number 2. And
there's one like less than a mile from campus. So
yeah, and there's like, we don't have Bojangles, but we have like some Tully's tenders or something. And I'm like, you're recruiting against yourself by selling Dave & Buster's and no Bojangles, I think.
Next month, they'll also be digging out from about 2.5 feet of snow up there, and it'll be 60 degrees in Columbia. So
yeah,
if I had to pick today based off of what I'm hearing coming off of the weekend, I think South Carolina has momentum. With Lenore Sellers, we're going to have to wait until Friday, it looks like, because of logistics. See, here's the NCAA, JC. You got to have the early signing period when kids are still in school. Every school in America is out today at the latest. Like, if they went back for this week, today is the last day. Signing day is the 21st through the 23rd, which is insane, because that's, 24 hours before Santa Claus departs the North Pole to bring presents to everybody around the world. So they probably should have backed that up a week so guys could have their announcements with their classmates and their teammates in their gymnasiums or auditoriums. I think that's just bad on the NCAA, and so we're going to have to wait till Friday on him. And so, JC, I did pick up something, a little bonus tidbit here, and then I got 2 prospects I want to ask you about. I'm hearing Florida State could be fading with Cameron Robinson, the linebacker from the town in Virginia, which I will not even pretend I know how to pronounce.
It's like a Massachusetts island town.
Tappahannock.
I got to go up there to Tappahannock. Give me a lobster roll.
If that's the case, I think South Carolina could be in a good spot here. And so then I wanted to hear, what are hearing about Bakari Swain's visit to Colorado, and right before we came on, the Big Tree, who's only made one Instagram post, says he's putting out something tomorrow on his Instagram. And so how are you feeling about the Gamecocks' chances with the decommitment? Could he recommit? And then Bakari Swain, who went out to Colorado while Dion was getting beaten again by a better coach with inferior players in the HBC Bowl.
Yeah, Vicari, I think the position thing, may come into play with that. If he wants to play receiver and they're beating him over the head with receiver, and Carolina's not as fired up about a receiver, they like him as a corner. And I think what was telling to me was his coach said his coach feels like he's a receiver. So
I feel like he's a wide receiver.
Well, yeah, I think it's a valid opinion, but so that the position thing, I can't imagine him going all the way to Colorado unless there's like a tangible reason to do it. This kid's been committed for a long time. He's been solid. So we'll see sort of what happens with that. I can't rule a flip out, but I think there's probably going to be a good reason if he does flip. With Big Tree, I think people are just assuming he's gone to Maryland. I would not assume that. I think it's certainly possible. But the contacts I've spoken with in the last 24 hours feel like the Gamecocks are right there and in position to get him back. So I don't know. There's a lot going on with his family situation and all that. And this thing could take, in the next 24 hours, 15 different turns, as we've all seen when the Gamecocks are recruiting against Maryland. that happens sometimes, especially with a Maryland kid. It comes kids down to it, and things get a little hairy. So we'll see what happens with those two. I would say probably at least one will be in the class by the time they sign, if not two. So that's kind of my take on the situation. I'm not as overly worried about Swain as maybe some people, like some fans that, Dion, the big bad Dion's going to flip him or whatever. Just kind of reading the tea leaves, though, that the position thing could be an issue. And so that's all I'm going to say about that. Keith, we got to run, man. We went way over on this, but it's good stuff as always. And looking forward to talking to you in 2023 on the show. So this will be our last segment until next year. So thank you for all of your segments this football season, man.
I've enjoyed it. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas to you and Phil, and to all the listeners and subscribers to the bigspur.com and the show on the Inside the Gamecocks podcast. Merry Christmas, JC. Hopefully I'll catch up with you in Jacksonville.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, buddy, to you and yours, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, that is Keith Allsup. Joins us every Monday. We're overdue for a break, Phil, so let's get that out of the way. Back with more on the Nana Sports chat box, and a lot of fun as we wrap up the last Monday show until 2023 right here inside the Gamecocks show. Back after these messages. Hey, man, are you sick and tired of your business computer guy?
Yes, he takes forever to call me back and doesn't always respond to the requests.
Yeah, same here. I'm paying him good money. I constantly have issues, and I'm worried he's not backing up my network and securing it properly.
Oh, I feel that, man. My head hurts, but I have a good lead on a good idea. I'm calling your boy Matthew Odom today from Heritage Digital. Heritage Digital is an IT firm that specializes in making sure your IT network runs like a dream. If you have 1 or 500 employees, it doesn't matter. They do it all for one monthly fee and have clients from South Carolina all the way to California.
Yeah, I heard that monthly fee's low too, so I don't know why I didn't even think of that. Do you have 843-699-1001 as Matt's contact number?
Yeah, man, I sure do that. Or you can go to heritagedigital.com.
Man, I hear they do a no-cost assessment. Boy, this will help me.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm getting on that and encouraging everyone else to do the same. Heritage Digital, 843-699-1001 or heritagedigital.com, a proud sponsor of Inside the Gamecocks, the show.
You can't handle the truth. Gamecock Nation, do you need a place to stay for the big game? Many hotel booking engines keep all the commissions, but at Fan Plans, you support Inside the Gamecocks, still earn your hotel loyalty points, and you receive an email with direct confirmation from the hotel. Whether you are visiting Columbia to cheer on Carolina or hitting the road to follow the team, get in the stands with Fan Plans.
Yep, time to get back to the show. Shoot. All right, my man.
Welcome back to Inside the Gamecocks, the show, everybody. It's brought to you by Express Sunrooms in Columbia. Give John Barber a call, 803-446-4662, to set up a free consultation about your outdoor retreat at your home. And in the second hour is also brought to you by the Burgesson team at Remax at the Lake. And give Adam or Derek a call or shoot Adam an email at abergeson, that's ABERGESON, at remax.net. And then, JC, I got this rendered correctly, so we can now see Nick.
There he is.
Low.
Look at that. I mean, dude, that guy.
That's some intensity right there.
I don't want to mess with that dude with the stash and everything. Oh, my gosh. No way. No way I'm messing with that guy.
Nope.
I'll hang out with him, but I'll be at his table at the bar. Thank you very much. I'll be friends with him. Be buddies with him. Buy him some drinks, right?
No
Keep
doubt.
him on your side. 76 says in the Nana's Porch chat box as we roll on a Monday, I'd really like to have a healthy Christian Bill Smith in the bowl game. How's he coming along? Our guys out at practice said he was still in a boot. So I don't know. Are we going to get a large dose of Juju, Amos, Lavoisier, and Turbo? I think you're going to get a large dose of Spencer Rattler slinging it around the yard to his receivers. There's no tight ends right now, so it's a large dose of Nate Atkins and Wyatt Campbell in the run game. But no, I like this Lavoisier and get a shot. I think they're both good players, and Dante Miller too, for that matter. I think he's a good player. But Dante's trying to get. Dante will not play in the bowl because he's trying to get another year or something. I don't know.
Is he not? Yeah.
I don't know that he's going to be.
Well, I was going to say the NCAA ruling affects two players I know for sure. Luke Doty can be the backup in case he's needed, and then David Spalding actually can play.
Well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
David Spalding's pretty good plug and play guy there inside the on the secondary with the guys doing it. All right. Hey.
Oh, and to answer Sonder, if you're still with us, Sonder, because he just sent us an email here in Inside the Gamecocks. No, we did not ban you. I don't know what happened. If something is wrong, I don't know what's going on.
There's no way we ban you, Sonder.
No, I mean, really, I would never even put you in timeout. Yeah, come on. If it's not showing up, it's on your end, buddy.
we don't ban anybody, but like troll Clemson fans or troll North Carolina fans or
it takes a lot to get me to do that. Yeah,
and then we'll also ban like the porn spam, because nobody wants to see that.
Yeah.
I mean, at least not right now.
I mean, you might want to, but we're not going to facilitate that for you.
No doubt. It's a family-friendly show. 70 says that Nick looks like the Eli Manning character that tried out at Penn State.
I saw that.
Score 2 Media says, hope to see Landon Sampson and Kyla Corton. Maybe, maybe not. That's because those guys are just behind other guys, so it's I don't know. So we'll see if you see them or not. I mean, a lot of times bowl practice, man, guys come on and play. I mean, like Omega Blake played in the bowl last year. Y'all remember that? He played quarterback one play, lost 9 yards, but he played a little bit. So it just bowls are so different, and all that good stuff. But I feel pretty good about South Carolina's recruiting weekend. I know that there's a lot of concern about Big Tree. Anytime you have a big 4-star guy like that from out of state, you want to land him, especially on the offensive line. I think losing Isaiah Jada is going to probably end up being either something that we all go, he never got on the field at Auburn at all, or we go, first-round draft pick. It's JUCO offensive linemen typically are hit or miss. I mean, they're either like, Dennis Daly, who was really good, or, I can name about 3 or 4 JUCO offensive linemen the Gamecocks brought in at different points that were not very good. Steven Singleton come to mind, from back in the day. I don't want to throw anybody on the bus, but sometimes they, work out, sometimes they don't. So just looking at it, I think that Nick Harbor's going to go the distance. And so who knows? who knows what will end up happening with that one. But, it's going to be pretty hectic, I think, down the stretch, trying to keep guys in and out and all that good stuff. So anyway, by the way, Chris from Nana Sports just bought a black trucker hat from Carolina Rise.
Nice.
That definitely won't be to you by Christmas, my friend. that one's on long back one. But anyway, but I certainly appreciate all of you that have supported Carolina Rise and all that. It's big kind of deal right now. It's rolling. Brian says, what are y'all's thoughts on guys opting out of bowls but playing in the Senior Bowl? That's interesting. I don't know. I mean, because that's happened, right? Debo did it. I think
Zach Pickens is doing it.
Zach Pickens is doing it. So I just don't know. I mean, about that. I think seems to me like
I can see the logic, just because it's going to be just packed with NFL scouts, and I mean they're all going to be there watching you, and you don't have to take a chance on whether or not they saw your great performance in a bowl game. But you're still, you can still get hurt either way. So I don't think it's injury related whatsoever. I think it's just like there's a concentration of NFL scouts going to be there.
I'll say this too: the Senior Bowl is a little bit half speed. I mean, it's not. I've never seen like a extremely physical Senior Bowl, so we'll see. Eric says the two commits not public. Are they Mazio Bennett and Lenore Sellers? No. I'll rule those out for you right now. Not gonna tell you who they are, but that kind of thing. So that's that with that. But yeah, it's not Bennett or Sellers. I do think things are looking extremely good for Mazio Bennett right now. As we kind of all reported, Mazio didn't commit to Tennessee for NIL money or anything like that. He committed to Tennessee because their style of offense, and his massive concern about the style of offense at South Carolina that Marcus Satterfield was, things like Juice Wells not getting any targets in the Georgia game. That was what was, and then you look up there and you see the Tennessee receivers having a lot of fun, right? And so we go, and maybe, by the way, brought up Turnitin, who, by the way, had a pretty good year at guard at Florida State this year as a backup, or number two guy, started some, I think. But, yeah, as a JUCO O-line that didn't work out. But anyway, so that's Mazio. And Mazio heavy lean to Carolina, everything else about Carolina. So it's no coincidence that as soon as this change happened and Beamer and Stepp go by the school, he decommits from the Vols because he's wanting to go to Carolina. So I think the Gamecocks are in good shape there. I think this 2024 class, I have a feeling that we're going to be sitting around in February going, wow, what a start for 2024. And the state is set up pretty well for the Gamecocks this year as far as early leans and things like that. I don't think they're going to get Blake Franks from Greenville High School. I think he's going to Clemson. But everybody else, keep an eye on it. I think the Gamecocks are going to be a pretty good deal. Kreger says, I don't like knowing ahead of time who the commits are. We almost have too much info as fans. Yeah, I kind of like the element of surprise myself. I have to know for big spur purposes, right? Because you want to have an article ready to go, when the kid does pop. But I'm all about like not spoiling their announcements and all that good stuff. So I'm with you, Kreger, on that. It's almost like you do have too much info. Sometimes I think there's something to be said for fans having too much information. I think that was probably the reason that there was a revolt about Dowell Lockett. Because the diehard fans are not. I mean, they're not like, oh yeah, I mean, they know everything about the systems and offense and stuff like that, big names and stuff. I think part of that has facilitated out through recruiting, because you have a lot of coaches who basically became superstars as assistant coaches. I mean, there's no other sport where the assistant coaches, there's just a big spotlight on them. I mean, they're almost celebrities too than college football. And a lot of them made celebrity out of themselves because of their work on the recruiting trail. And when I was at rivals.com 17 years ago, gosh, Phil, it'll be 18 years ago this month. The ex-wife and I moved to Nashville, started at Rivals.
04.
Wow. 04.
Wow.
Yeah. Spurrier had just gotten to South Carolina. So anyway, I just strolled down memory lane there, but so we started covering like who their recruiters were, oh, this guy recruited this guy. Oh, and people got pissed off. A lot of head coaches were like, we don't like this at all because this could cause problems with our staff and blah, blah, blah. Well, then they come to find out they all embraced it. Like the same head coach that was mad, I think he got fired from his job as a head coach and circled back as an assistant. And then he's calling them saying, man, I got that guy. That guy's on my list, blah, 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 blah. And it just but what that did is facilitated information to fans. And so fans, whereas they used to just be able to look at a guy and say, oh, well, some assistant coach or head coaches bring it in, and it all went on the head coach. Now, fans they know every coach on the roster, and by God, they want to fire every coach on the roster at a time or two. So, Craig, long story short, you make an excellent point about too much information. Quantrell says, do you think state recruiting will become harder with Clemson possibly having to do it more in the future? I think winning that football game.
I was just about to say that. Just keep winning that football game and you're going to be okay.
Helps that little argument, right? That, so the more you win it, I think the more Carolina can be successful in state recruiting, regardless of what Clemson does. And, and look, Cam Pringle is an elite offensive tackle. He's from Woodland. Woodland is Ty Hill's school, Clemson. Robert Smith's school, Clemson. Clemson's always gotten guys out of there. Not Cam Pringle. At least not right now. Now, Josiah Thompson's at Dillon. That's a Gamecock stronghold. So he's good. And there's some debate. I think Josiah is actually ranked higher by 24/7 Sports than Cam. I'd probably Cam by nose, but they're both really, really. This state hadn't had two tackles like this in a while. A single cycle in a while. Three, really, if you count Franks from Greenville. So, it's the future. Whoever gets this offensive line job, assuming, the Atkins, that's real because the contract wasn't renewed, they're going to have a lot to work with. Really, think about in a couple of years, you got this class with Marquis Anderson. Hopefully Big Tree gets back in. But if not, you still have Jatavius Shivers. You've got some really good players otherwise, and their names escape me right now. But no, you got Marquis Anderson. You've got Trovon Ball, 4-star guy from Georgia, who's the elite on the inside. Jatavius Shivers, who I mentioned. All these guys coming in. Hopefully they get Big Tree back, but then if you add Pringle and you add Thompson to the mix in 2024. What's that do for you down the road? You're looking at a heck of a lineup there. If they get Big Tree back and you're looking at whoever the center of the future is, maybe it's Casey Henry, maybe it's Grayson Maines, maybe it's Ryan Brubaker. And then you got Markey on one side, Big Tree on the other. And then you got Cam Pringle, Josiah Thompson as your tackles. I'll take that projection. I think that'd be pretty good for the Gamecocks. Quantrell says Dillon. I don't think I've ever been to that part of the state. I feel like it's western North Carolina or eastern North Carolina. It is. It's where south of the border is.
Yeah, it might as well be. It's right there.
Yeah, in Myrtle Beach, you keep going. That road you get on to cut through and go to the beach, you keep going to Dillon. It's right there. There's a big sombrero. I don't know what they do there. Is it like a petting zoo? There's a hotel? I'm not quite sure.
Oh, what? It's south of the border? Yeah, they got a little bit of everything out there.
Gift shops. I bet they make a mean chili dog. It just kind of screams like one of those places where you can get a delicious chili dog.
I cannot speak to that.
I cannot either, Phil. Remind me next time I go to Myrtle. Say, go by there and get you a chili dog.
That's right. Yeah, go get you a chili dog.
Go by there and get you a chili dog. Go on by there. Go south of the border. Get you a chili dog. Score 2 says, do you know if they checked on Geth since they've had some staff turnover? Yeah, I think he's pretty much solid. I haven't heard anything about that. Brian says, after Christmas, we're going to join Carolina Rise. Just got to get my little boy squared away. Yeah, take your time, man. Look, please. Take your time.
No pressure.
I feel bad. I don't feel bad about what we're doing, but I just never. I mean, people have so many different financial situations these days. The pandemic made that worse, and so I don't know if anybody's on their feet, off their feet, $10 a month, but I don't know. So those that give, I appreciate it. Those that can't afford it, that's cool. If you can't afford it, but you want to get in, how you can help is like spread the word, because like on Big Spur, we had like 5-10 guys that emailed 5 or 10 of their Gamecock buddies who may not be diehards and subscribers of the website, but they definitely want to help out, right? And so spreading the word's cool too. Krager says it's no Buc-ee's. I love Buc-ee's.
Still haven't been. Still haven't been to Buc-ee's.
I'm gonna call you up next time you go to the beach. Like, go by there to Buc-ee's and get you a brisket sandwich. Go get you a brisket sandwich. Y'all go on by Buc-ee's and get you a brisket.
Yeah.
I'll call Dina and do it. I'm like, Dina, go by there and get you a brisket sandwich. She's gonna be like, what? What?
She's been. That's the thing. It's like, yeah, she's been.
Oh.
I have. Yeah.
Oh.
she and the girl down to not our girls, but you know the ones.
Yeah, the girl with the friends. I remember they took the kid to college, right? Yeah, and dude, so
that's where she brought back shirts and everything. Yeah.
Dude, it's an amazing place. All right, final break right here. Final Monday of 2022 on the show. Don't forget, later this week, our normal cast of characters will be on. I think Michael Flint, since technically Friday's show will be the last show before the game, Flint's going to join us to do a X's and O's breakdown about Notre Dame later this week and all that good stuff. But we'll be back after these messages to wrap up Monday on Inside the Gamecocks, the show.
If you're looking to sell or buy multifamily property right here in South Carolina, the Burgesson team of RE/MAX at the Lake can help you get to closing fast and easy. Adam and Derek Burgesson both are very proud Gamecocks and are more than happy to assist you with any of your commercial real estate needs all across the state. You can email Adam at aburgesson@remax.net. That's ABERGESON at remax.net to get your next deal underway. The Burgesson team, proud sponsors of Inside the Gamecocks.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
What's up, Gamecock fans? This is Pitcher Noah Hall. If you want some delicious food for your event, I suggest visiting nanasporch.com today to find out what they all have to offer. It's really good Southern cuisine based out of Charlotte, my hometown. I hope you guys go check it out. Go Cox and go Nanas.
I've been expecting you, Mr. Powers.
Sometime in the near future, there's a good chance I'll move back to my home area of the upstate of South Carolina. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's nobody I would use to help me find a new home except Cindy Bass Searfoss of Caldwell Banker Kane, located in my hometown of Spartanburg, Daniel Morgan Avenue, married to a diehard Gamecock. 864-414-5271. Give Cindy a call. 864-414-5271. A proud sponsor of Inside the Gamecocks, the show.
Family vacations, a new car, a new boat, all cost money, but you don't necessarily have to make more to afford any of that if you can save cash that's flying out the window now. iHelp Consulting can help you finally get the kids to Disney World, upgrade the minivan, or drop that new boat in the water next summer. Let Daniel and iHelp Consulting consult with you. No fees, just savings. You pay them a percentage of those savings. Save on essential services, credit card fees, you name it. Let them find it. These folks are incredible. iHelpConsulting.com. How can I help you?
Hey, Mo Cowboy here from the Carolina Gamecocks. You're listening to Inside the Gamecocks, the show with JC and Phil.
Welcome back to Inside the Gamecocks, the show. The last segment of the show. Show sponsored by Express Sunrooms in Columbia. Give John Barber a call, 803-446-4662, to set up a free consultation to talk about what they can do for your backyard. And the Burgesson team at RE/MAX of the Lake brings you the second hour. I don't know why I keep forgetting these. Just off today. It's Monday. I'm getting a slow start, y'all. Forgive me. A. Burgesson, Adam, ABERGESON at remax.net. Give them a call for your commercial or investment real estate needs.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Just sitting here reading John's stuff over here in the chat box. It's like kindly Southern ladies. Yeah, go get you a sandwich.
You go on down there by that Buc-ee's and get you a brisket sandwich here. Mama, go get you. Get me a big, large iced tea, sweet with lemon, and one of those chili rolls. Yeah. Those pecans are good too. Those salted pecans, the sweet ones. Jerry says they're supposedly building a Buc-ee's on 85 near Piedmont. Holy dog. Dude.
Oh, now that's close.
I hope they do it like. Doesn't the interstate narrow? No, it doesn't narrow till you get past Clemson. It narrows there because that's a congested area. Sometimes. Brian says Mokaba might have the smoothest voice I've ever heard. Yeah, we're gonna get him to do some more this time too. If these people.
Wait till y'all hear Nick go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Nick Eamon-Warren.
Warren's great. I got to get that done.
Yeah, Nick's got a future in broadcasting.
David Britt says a motel south of the border has an area with a glass ceiling called the Pleasure Dome. I've seen it.
Yes.
We don't need another hero. The Pleasure Dome.
Pleasure Dome.
It looks like, hey, if it were abandoned, right, it would be.
It would be very reminiscent.
That would be that'd be a good place for like a battle, like for Mad Max, you know?
Yes.
The Pleasure Dome, like a big missile hits the sombrero. I don't know. Eric says here USC is building something at the fairgrounds to supposedly recruit a game changer. Any truth or idea what it is? That thing's gotten it's like a game of telephone. It doesn't really have anything to do directly with NIL or recruiting. And it's not necessarily at the fairgrounds. And I'll just leave it at that to see what happens. Maybe says always drive by south of the border going to Wilmington. They started it for Yankees. Hey, them Yankees. Oh, them Yankees. They're going to start this with those Yankees that come down, yeah? I think no idea. It's still a business nowadays, probably just selling fireworks. Trevor's goes, highway to the Pleasure Dome. John goes, touchdown Carolina, touchdown Pleasure Dome. Hurt me, boom. Touchdown Carolina. I gotta adjust my iPod. I'm getting kind of mixed up with some other voices. Anyway, so we'll see sort of what happens there. Krager says we can't finish any higher than 15th in recruiting if we lose Big Tree, can we? Probably not. I don't know. It kind of depends on what some of these transfers end up getting rated. And look, I'm going to say this, and because when I came back, I was distracted. I should never look at the big spur or try to multitask when I'm doing this show because I get sidetracked and I'm just like, I should never do that. But I did. I made that mistake. So somebody's transfer from Florida didn't play. A Yale offensive lineman. And a running back from Newberry. You know, look, the Florida transfer that didn't play is for depth, okay? He's a guy that you need a warm body. You know, you need guys that can come in that are older. I get that. They'll get probably better than him in the portal. But why are we knocking these kids from – I mean, how much more proof do some of these people need, okay? You had Carlin Splittell, who if he had not gotten hurt, would have played a whole lot last year. He was from Division II Assumption. Okay. I mentioned David Spalding being a big guy to get back. He came in from Georgia Southern where he did not play. Okay. Carolina, everyone out there loved beating Clemson, right? You don't win that game without a transfer from East Tennessee State making plays, a transfer from Wingate making plays, and a transfer from James Madison making plays. And then somebody else pop up. Well, James Madison's a really good team. It doesn't matter what team you're on. You know, the team. This is like personnel. This is the NFL. It's not like the NFL, but it's like individuals. We worried about what their record was. You know, I think it's positive when you take high school kids that are state champions because those kids, when it gets tough on the field, they're used to the pressure of playing in championship situations. But I mean, I don't know. So guys, just come on, man. I mean, people get disappointed. I mean, I'm like, no, don't get disappointed. This is a nice way to do it, really. And I think, getting guys from the lower levels, that these guys end up getting drafted anyway. Why not?
You want talented players. You don't care where they come from. You shouldn't care where they come from.
Dante Moore to UCLA. That's surprising. Do they have better NIL bags like that than Oregon? No. I wouldn't think so. But I don't know. Maybe Chip Kelly. I don't know. I don't know. That is interesting than Oregon. And guys, I think you'll figure out too, like Quantrell, not everybody right now. We're not at the point where every player has like a price, right? Even though a lot of people want that to happen, and I think they don't really have the best interest of the game at heart in the national media. Not everybody has a price. I mean, some guys go for the opportunities. I mean, and it's weird because it's not like you go down the rankings and it's like, okay, all these elite guys have a price, and then you go down. It's not like that. It's kind of strange how you can kind of mix and match it and all that good stuff. Even with a guy like Dante Moore, who probably will command some of that. All that. Krager says lower level guys are hungry. Yeah, they got a lot to prove. Maybe says done a good bit of playing around, and I don't think we can reasonably expect to finish higher than 17th in the rankings. And there's no difference between 15 and 17, other than you could say top 15 if you're 15th. There's no difference. And if you finish anywhere 6th, 7th, 8th, I kind of like I think a really, 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 really good class at South Carolina is top half of the league, and 6th, if you're 7th, 8th, you're kind of on the other end. But, like I said, it's close. So 6th, 7th, 8th, something like that's probably a good shoot. Ryan says they're building a Buc-ee's right off 85 between Anderson and Liberty on 178. Already have the land cleared. Is that before or after the Clemson exit? Or where the interstate kind of goes down to 2 lanes? Because that's going to be a cluster if it's beyond that.
I don't know.
I've driven that stretch 70 times. Yeah. I lived in Atlanta twice and driven that stretch more than I'd like to recall. But that does get kind of bottlenecked there because what's going to happen. When that Buc-ee's opens, everybody in Pickens, Anderson, Greenville, Spartanburg, Oconee, Cherokee, Greenwood, let's get in the car and go to the Buc-ee's, don't you?
Let's go to Buc-ee's.
Get on the car. Put him in the station wagon. Bring the dog. I'm going to go get me a brisket sandwich. Your mom's calling. Hey, honey, go to Buc-ee's and get you a brisket sandwich.
Listen, it's time to buy some Christmas. Let's go on down to Buc-ee's.
Ryan says it's before. So thank God.
Before, yeah.
It's a Christmas miracle that it's before that merge. I'll tell you that right now. Anyway, I love I would have went to Richmond, Kentucky when I was coming back from East Tennessee, 4th of July. Really good. Mike Morgan, luckiest man on earth sometimes. I don't know if I could call some of the sporting events like Little League World Series like he does. So, but anyway, Mike's wife lives in Lexington. He lives in Atlanta, and 75. He passes 2 Buc-ee's on the way on 75. You got one in North Georgia, and then you got one about 35 minutes from Lexington. Lucky man. They won't come to Illinois because the business climate here sucks. I wouldn't come to Illinois if I were them. I'd be like, no, I'll put one in Indiana right across the border, Iowa, Missouri. I wouldn't come here and tell you that. Quantrell says, I just assume 5-star quarterbacks, if you don't talk big NIL deals with them, you can't get them. Heard on a podcast that you have to go as deep as paying quarterback coaches just to get a conversation. Certain situations, yeah. Certain situations, no. And see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, people need to be careful about, like, what they say and labeling everybody as like money driven, just because that's their, utopian dream is for everybody to get a bunch of money. Some kids, the situation's better. Maybe they get a little less money, but they probably want to go after Kenny Dillingham left Oregon. Yeah, probably go play for Chip Kelly. Pretty good track record right there. So that's good, Quantrell. As always, Quantrell, we appreciate you and everyone else in the Nana Sports chat box. That's it for the Monday episode. Tomorrow, the Mental Edge with Sawyer Dix. Sawyer will talk about Christmas time.
Yep. And he's going to be right at the top of the show tomorrow at 11 o'clock. He's got a conflict at 11:30, so we're going to have him right out the gate.
Right out the gate, so you get a big bunch of mental edge right in your face to start the thing. Buc-ee's is every 40 miles going down 95 in Florida. Oh, wow. Because I'm going that way between Orlando and Jacksonville here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go get me a brisket sandwich. Anyway, thanks, Ryan, for all that. Thanks to all of you who listen each and every day. Again, back tomorrow. Mental edge right out the gate. And more fun right here. Inside the Gamecocks show, signing off for Phil Mullinax, JC Sherbert. Have a great Monday, everyone.